Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching in the world. My name is Sean Driver. This is the Red Hoarder, and it's a busy Sunday morning, and I am tired and sore. Got a lot going on here. We've got the Wrexham women on I follow down below if you've got it there. Hi, everybody. Draws on at 9, it says on the FA site. Is that what it said? Which it's supposed to be right before the Liverpool match, so it should kick on. It should take less than 15 minutes. I think it'll jump on here sometime in the next 5-6 minutes, and we'll go to that. I do have the draw box up. Draw win guarantees top for second, and it does a little bit more than that, as it obviously maintains Aberystwyth's hope, but they have a game in hand. They'd only be, I think they'd be 7 points back. And so it does leave a lot of things. If you're just joining us and you don't follow on the social media and all that sort of stuff, I had an unexpected trip to the hospital last week. Just had my appendix removed, and so I'm on some painkillers, and I haven't taken them this morning. And so this is going to be informal. It's going to be a little bit rough, but I wanted to do this, and I wanted to be with the community, with you guys, because I enjoy these, and I enjoy being here, and it's how I'm going to be watching the game anyway. And I said I can get my butt over to a chair. So there are going to be some times, I'm sure, where I'm going to, and in fact, pretty quick here, and I just realized I don't have any water. I'm going to go before the draw happens, so I'm going to put on the Be Right Back, and I will be right back. Hopefully you guys stay tuned. M, John, W, and G, I see ya. It's mostly regulars, so I'm sure it'll be some permissibility here for the owies, and I'm going to groan and make my way over the other way, so don't mind me while I just pop up the Be Right Back. My brain's not functioning. Everything's all the way. I'll be right back. And we're back. So yeah, sorry about that one. Hey, Michael, how are you? I'm going to assume that that's a language, and I'm not going to have to worry about kicking anybody today, but we'll see where it goes. If you're watching and you don't have it, it should be down below F follow, by the way. The women's match is going to be kicked off here in about the next 3 minutes. Its link is down below, immediately scrolling right now. Thank you, Emily. That's key. These are the details that I didn't get a chance to look at because I was held up for a little bit. The FA Cup streams, that one's running. If it says it's going to start in 1 minute and 52 seconds, I've got the starting 11 here, but what I also have, and I'm going to bring that up here just momentarily. Just so that we have it. I don't have Aberystwyth's roster. I'm sorry. I didn't have time to do it. It was just last night when I was trying to prepare everything. It took too much time to get everything organized, and I decided I was going to take the sleep. So my apologies to any Aberystwyth fans that are here. So here's a transition. This is a weird process for me. We're a minute and 10 away from the start of it. If you're not watching on YouTube, you can also bring it up. Search for Emirates FA Cup or FA Cup, the FA Cup, and you'll find it. It's in the live section. It's the live fifth round draw. There's presently only 3,600 of us waiting. This is a weird one for me. I don't really care because we have a more important thing, and that's Blackburn. And until we handle our business, I don't want to do what we did with Sheffield last season and get too far ahead of ourselves, right? Maidstone United forever? Yeah, I can see some. Do you want to draw them? That's the $1 million question. Oh, come on. Missing things, looking for things. Found things. So 1 second. I would take, like, all of those on the lineup are tasty little treats. Like, let's be completely frank here. I could make a case out to want to play in any of those. I mean, maybe the yellow balls to avoid, except Leeds number 12, if they make it through and we make it through. Still haven't played them, right? Lots of people calling for ball number 1608. I think that's probably the most popular on X. But all of those, Sheffield Wednesday, because we already had Sheffield United. Heck, do we want Sheffield United again? Do we just want a Prem team? Are we happy to take a game that's winnable? But I get it, swirly, but it's the world that we live in. Maybe we've gotten used to it. Maybe we've got that KG veteran preference. And does anybody have the ticket sales, how Blackburn's doing? I know that it was, before I went in the hospital, it was 7,000, us 6,200 them. I'm just curious as to where they're at. And so I'm going to have to bring the game up as it's rolling on one side, got the draw over on the other, and try and multitask. It's Afrikaans. Excellent. Afrikaans is only a language I've ever heard in Korea, of all places. How's that? Taught with a bunch of people from South Korea. And so that became the, when they were talking with each other, that was the language of choice between them, and it all made sense. And just left me only hearing words that occasionally I thought I understood. Luton would be great. Maidstone, I think, would be great for it. Sheffield would be great for it. Bring in Liverpool or Everton. I don't, at this point, I don't care. Good morning, Michael. Rock Chick, MDR. And thanks, everybody, for joining. I know it was last notice. 8 o'clock at night on Thursday night, I was under the knife, getting rid of the old appendix. Not a fun little process, but getting way better. Yes, Dutch would make it much, much easier to be able to speak Afrikaans. Oh, and I got to bring up, we're getting started in the women's match, and I don't have the roster up for I saw somebody just say the live draw was postponed. Is that because there was a postponement in the Liverpool match? It says it's postponed. Something for me to pull up Twitter on when I hit start here, and then we can focus on the women's match if that's the case, or if somebody else wants to look and see. I'm just going to have a look at FA Cup draw. Just after 2. Oh, Mark Goldbridge. That's a jerk move. Man United guy, by the way, and his tweet, FA Cup draw just after 2. Hope we get Maidstone. Need another bye into the next round. Not pleasant. So we're waiting on that, and while we're waiting on that, 43 seconds in, everything's ticking there. Everton are out. Did I have them on the thing? Or did I say Everton? I don't even know. I'm here in physical form and in spirit, but not in mind. I'm hoping my chart isn't screwed up. An early morning. And W&G, I hope everything works up top. If it doesn't, that's on me. It involved a little bit more brain cells than normal to put together. And so I'm hoping that it's there. Yeah, but that's Mark Goldbridge, and that's why he's got so many followers and why he's so successful. Maybe I need to start being more of a prick. That's the message. Looking like they're 15 minutes away from doing the draw, so I'm going to just make sure that I've got volume on it so that it kicks me when they come back in. Oh, I can't even set it. And I'll go back in. If the live draw is on and you notice it, feel free to flag me. Don't assume that I'm on top of things this morning. Pritchard, lots of good touchdown. The rock just looks so massive every single time. And I'm going to go back to the roster. I'm not going to be able to type out the women's one. Normally, I'd sit here and try and do it in the background, but I just don't want to move. And there's a lot of moving and typing and looking things up. So we're only going to worry about, if I can find it. God. I'm just going to worry about our roster. Enjoy the match. 2:37 in, a nice little flick of the ball in, but it went a little bit too far. Rosie Hughes up front. Yeah, I've seen that. Him and there's the guy from Korea for Man U that go absolutely nuts. And there's actually a new YouTube channel that I should make a life goal to make, and that's there's the people that do these watch parties, the fan reactions, and they put together a whole collection of snippets of people doing these videos and their reactions to the goals. And I was like, one of these days I'm going to end up on that damn thing. A bullet from Rosie coming over from right to left there. It was smart, but man, did she pelt that. Superwoman, I don't know what had the speed to get to that one. Rosie put her boot through that pass. So crowd trouble, do I have to look this up? Is it worth looking up on Twitter? Throw in for Aberystwyth down the line, 3:40 in, and don't want to ignore the women who have the opportunity with a draw or a win, as Mark Griffiths identified, to clinch a part in the top 4, which, shot for Aberystwyth, who just roofed it right over the top, but an impressive start. Had that opportunity, long ball, reaching, searching over top. And that was Pritchard just a little bit slow to get back. Both Pritchard and, was it Sharp? A little bit late getting back. That 7-goal meltdown, that one ranked right up there for sure. Over the top, Rosie onside, flag still down, looking forward by herself, takes a shot. Oh, needed the curling analogy on that one. She kind of turfed it with her toe, it looked like, or banged it into the ground, just missed on the far left post, but she was down there. Needed to be like sweep to curl that in. She got there, not much she could have done. She had to take the flick, beat the goalie, but just rolled wide. Hooray! Hey, Brennan, how are you, man? Lots of long balls going back and forth to start this one. Up and over, up and over. Nice to see Della's back there. Somebody brought up the question of the January transfer window and if it applies to women's Welsh football anyway, or whether they can just add names, because we already saw Barrytown added 2 former Cardiff players, and they played exceptionally well. Hey, I'm here. I'm doing my thing. I'm leaned back in the chair. Actually, I'm going to adjust the little pillow thing on the chair. And this is how I'm going to enjoy my day. And hopefully I've got the stamina to make it through this thing. Want Mansfield or watch Mansfield? I only watched the score, and yesterday was 1 game short of being absolutely beautiful. But as it was pretty damn sexy anyway. Cross into the box, Aberystwyth there to head it away. Knocked back down by Lily. Lily's been interesting. She came out like a firecracker, and these games first started being streamed live. Looked amazing, great, and thought, hey, there's an heir apparent offside. That was the easiest offside call in the history of the world, probably about 8 feet. Watch. I didn't. I was too busy watching the FA Cup matches just because I was held up in bed and had it on the big screen TV and was able to do that. I did want to watch a match. I was planning to actually just jump on without telling anybody on Saturday and just do one. But yeah, everybody seemed to help us out yesterday except for Stockport, eh? So it worked out pretty good. Moved up in the table, if I recall correctly. Em, do you recall? I thought we were 3rd before we started it and then ended up in 2nd. 97th minute. Yeah, I got the message from, I think it was John might have sent that one to me. There's Watford already up. Wolves have already taken care of West Brom in the early match. W&G is on it, and it will have to let me know if everything's there and in order. I hope that it is. The only thing that's not there, I don't know why the West Brom and the Cardiff one, the men's and women's got flopped on that one, and I've tried to swap it back, and I'm not going to sit here and wasn't going to sit here last night and try to worry about it. I was like, if anybody joins and sees, they're just going to have to cope that. I just hope nobody has OCD. If you got OCD, it's a bad day for you, because everything's going to be a little bit off here and a little bit off there, and that's okay. So still waiting on the draw. Game 0-0. Possession-wise, I've been content, but we haven't been pushing the ball forward through the midfield. It's really been the art of the long ball for both sides. Hoof chase. What statistically, and I believe that it was Fearless in Devotion that did the podcast. It was early. They usually come out on Wednesdays, and I was feeling relatively okay, but they were talking about the difference in the men's away and home form and explaining it by, I think it was Rob Ryan Red, suggesting that a large component of it was because of our increase in long balls in our away matches, and that we're not confident enough, or we don't do it for whatever reason. Maybe it's the pitch or otherwise. Don't push through the midfield. Well thrown in, well taken, well advanced, and we're in the center of the pitch now, and we're going to bring it back and had an opportunity for a switch there. Must have had both Reds late in the match, but kudos for Mansfield for solidifying their own demise and for Wimbledon for taking it. It's stuff like that I'll appreciate. Del Morgan with control. Sending it down to Allen. Captain's armband on display as she pulls the Andy Cannon and bosses that through the midfield. Jones far delivered that. Was that off the woodwork? That was a fascinating cross. I don't know if that was a cross or a shot attempt. I thought it was a cross. Yeah, I think it was intended to be a cross, but ended up looping all the way in. And I thought it has good height. That's good service. There's opportunity for somebody to get behind, but the angle was off, and instead it bounced off the woodwork. Look at me getting all my updates from you guys. This is why I love you guys. Sunday morning company. The second was actually given to a player who was already out of the game. So he was on a yellow and then subbed out, John, and then picked up and got red carded out the bench. Yeah, Wolves are through over the 2-0 over West Brom. Thanks for that, W&G. Swansea women already up. Will anyone be able to take out the powerful Cardiff City women? I don't think Pontypridd's going to be up for it. But that's the big question. Yeesh. Well, the old Luke Williams possession weak back line. I never put the weak back line, to be fair, on him. I put it on the style of play that he had, but apparently I was wrong there. Still waiting for the draw to come in. I haven't heard anything in my ears. I just went back to check the screen. Everything seems to be just ticking along there. Delayed because of something that happened in the Wolves-West Brom game. I thought they were playing it before the Liverpool match, but did they back everything up? Their television, they can do as they please. The lighting, I'd like to fix it, but I lost the remote for the light, and I'm not getting up to go and change it. I am comfy. Ouch. And I'm going to stay right here. Mike's taking the blue pill. He's or the red pill. He's completely in. He's got the stuff on the shift. I think that happens as soon as you buy iFollow. I think once you connect, there's a guy from Knott's who says he's in sports governance, but he proves to be one of the frustratingly simple in his view of football and sports governance. Narrow in mind and view. Long ball over the top. That got that. No, it didn't get there. And he has it in his mind that as soon as the documentary ends, which has to be 1 or 2 more seasons, that in his eyes, that all of the international fans are going to go away. And I said, well, but there's no bright line and definition of what an international fan is. I said, like, surely there are some that are there for the documentary that haven't connected with the clubs. They're going to go, right? There's no TV show to watch. But for those that have invested, and those are the ones buying tickets, whether that be in the UK or during the tour, they've flown over, whether they're on iFollow, they're buying merchandise. To me, as soon as you open your wallet to a club, that signals an investment into the club and an interest. And it doesn't mean you have to spend the money. I know a lot that don't, but as soon as you start to say, I'm committed to this team to the point that you're not just, the odd Google search here or there, but you're following the club, you're in. And I was like, I don't see those players. I don't see those fans going anywhere. Do I expect that we're going to make a run and win the Premier League and head off to the Champions League? No, I'm not an idiot. There are limitations that are consequential to the size of Wrexham and all that. Nice little push in and shot it directly at her. All that work over from the left to the right. I believe that was Lightfoot. Opted for I don't think that's normally how she does her hair. That's why it threw me off. I'm going to have to go through a previous match. Caught late. I'm going to get a talking to. I had a moment yesterday. So yesterday I got all caught up on the draw says it's in an hour. Well, probably threw it into the half. Got to get to the Liverpool game and get that one kicked off, and with the delay and all that sort of stuff, and that's fine. With me being holed up and in bed, I was like, I haven't finished the third season of Ted Lasso. It's been sitting at like the 5th episode forever. So I watched the whole 3rd series of, and that last episode, I don't know if you recall. So a lot of people have said I should dress up as the assistant coach for Richmond at Halloween, thin the beard out a little bit and grab some Richmond stuff. But in any event, what is he? Right in front, Jones missed it on the the left-footed swipe there, and then ends up skipping away, and Aberystwyth is going to pull that away and be able to run with it through the midfield as we come screaming back. 3 back, moves forward. I looked onside, and so that's Pritchard now running all the way over, and it's going to go too far. At number 14 for Aberystwyth has been in the mix being up front, but she's also let too many go. But he faked the appendix removal at the end of the thing, and I was like, I'm hoping not to give away too many spoilers. Fake the appendix, and I thought that's impressive. But not only that, the last song that they played is my favorite song of all time. Cat Stevens, Father and Son, got me through a year away in New Zealand, playing that on replay, and I was like, what is with? It was almost surreal. It was like everything that was my life showed up in Ted Lasso. Free streaming would be ballsy. Bryn Law and I had a couple of tweets. If you don't follow Bryn, he's a broadcaster, as I understand it. Does mostly Leeds games. He's really hoping for a Leeds Wrexham match for other reasons. I haven't really, because I don't have the terrestrial links, so I haven't heard him at a game, but this is just what I'm picking up. But we had an interesting chat. Having control of that for the purposes of advertising revenue, for the purposes of hooking. I mean, that's really what it is it's almost like they're a dealer right now. They're trying to get everybody hooked on Wrexham. They've got one gateway, so add another one. Oh, the Lions. Are we still talking NFL football? As a Vikings fan, I can't tolerate it. I don't wish goodwill on anybody in the NFC North. Sorry, I know it's been a while. But I hope it's a glorious collapse at the line. But yes, Kim, it would be a ballsy move. And don't unsubscribe. I still love you because you're a Wrexham fan. Just don't have to agree on everything. I don't know, John, if you saw the craziness that happened last night for you in the Canucks game, down 4-1 in the third, the first time in 14 years that the Canucks came back and won while down 3 goals in the last period. But just a mad hockey game last night. Yeah, Michael, I'm not even worried about it. Secure fans. I mean, I'm Canadian. I'm used to the Americans having to get things for got to help them out a little bit more, right? We get that. I'm gonna get a lot of hate today. Truth serum when you're in pain. Yeah, it's okay. So we'll be at the half. That'll be fine. Just give me a heads up there. Oh, Aberystwyth into the box. Long shot and well wide. Thanks, W&G and Michael. It'll be interesting. And if you're just joining, if you're feeling like I'm a little bit subdued, I am. I had my appendix out, and so I'm just chilling. I'll probably repeat that a couple of times just as people are joining us late or early, wherever they are. And so it was Thursday at 8 o'clock my time. It's already been 36 hours, I guess, or coming up to it, but it's longer than that. Friday, Saturday, yesterday sucked though. All the nice drugs left my system. And I was left with just painkillers and T3s, which I haven't taken. Oh, BC, BU, that'd be a great game. That'd be a fun one to go to live once. Like, I do want to go to the big house and watch a game at Michigan. I think that'd be a blast. I would like to go to a BCBU hockey game. Notre Dame would be another fun one to go and watch. The way that the Professional Women's Hockey League is tearing off, I mean, they've had to go to the NHL arena for the Toronto women for at least a couple of matches because they're Lightfoot, little bit of a bump and says, yeah, I'm going to call that a free kick and turns it around. Does she not usually have her hair like all the way down? She's put it up today anyway. Maybe I'm just making things up. Mark called it in the replay. I think he got it right. Tripped over her own feet. Went down, got the free kick. Aberystwyth with it outside the penalty area. Gives it up. Davis has it. Running forward. Lots of space. Looks for Joe. Well done by Hughes to be able to get that back. Punched it back and maintain control with a defender there. Nice little bit of ticky-tacky in the middle, but then a giveaway and kicked long too far the other way. Went into a good space. Lots of room to run, but nothing there. Frozen Four in Minnesota would be a lot of fun. It's like going to a World Juniors. John, if there's ever a World Juniors over in Halifax or something over on the East Coast, you'll have to run up from Massachusetts and take that in because Canada and the World Juniors take that on very seriously. I'd hope it's a year where the U.S. and Canada are in the same pool so you can get that match on like New Year's Eve or something. Aberystwyth take it off of the kick down the pitch. And really, Aberystwyth, other than straight counterattacks where they nick the ball, it's long ball over top is what they're looking for as it ends up with Rosie. Rosie looking for Lightfoot. The angle's off again. Two kicks in a row. The ball just looking for a 45-degree angle. And instead, we get an 80-degree angle. Would like to see somebody draw back in the women, which is still 0-0 there, eh? Or Swansea. Doesn't look like it's going to be Swansea today, already up 2-0. Nice little turn. Clara just left that, turned, and the ball ended up landing at her feet. Which is interesting to me because you look at the rosters, and the team that ends up with the best freshmen anyway is typically Michigan pulls a lot of NHLers. I was told that my, I don't want to say how much I paid for it. My wife's sleeping. Maybe she won't hear. $450 Canadian jersey for the Canucks that I just purchased with a name on the back that was all professionally done is finally finished a month after I finished it. Here we go. Lily up at the front, right-footed shot. Interesting that she appeared to take that one more off of the toe than really putting her foot through it. Looked like she was trying to pick a spot rather than drill the ball, and it ended up just being easily collected by the Aberystwyth keeper. And apologies for not putting the roster up. The day started a little bit late for me. And just too much moving back and forth, especially when the roster hasn't been built out before. And I've got to look and tick and look and tick and type and tick. And I just was like, my tummy's not going to handle it this morning. Oh, Kim with the rumors. Where do you get your hints? Is it from Twitter? Are you connected with Wonder Boy? Or is there some underground transfer news hookup source that we don't know about? Nice little play. Davis with the cheeky little, won't call that a bring back, but fake touching with right, grab it with, touch it with the left, bring it to your right, and she walks away with the ball. Easy as. Coughing. Not a good thing to do. The team wallet is open, as it should be. I'm sorry. When you have $20 million in turnover, people might not like it, but bury them. Stockport did well, though, pulling a couple of loan players in. And that's always impressive. Still curious to see. I want to keep some money back in reserve and some big money for Arthur potentially. We're going to be surprised at number 99. Are we going to be speaking in tongue all day? I don't even know what that means. Is that just my brain not processing? On sleep, pain, and dreams. I'm going to miss out on all the hidden little subtext and messages that I should probably get if I was able to follow along on Twitter and other things. 27 minutes in, if there were possession stats up, I'd say that we're probably at about 65% easy here, maybe even 70, because Abertystwyth not maintaining the ball at their feet, just pushing the ball forward with long balls, and we're searching, going right to left if you're not watching, and sort of sniffing around the box as it ran it off the pitch. Yeah, Kim, no, I recognize that, but I hold some of it back in reserve. Go on just an absolute epic FA Cup run. Let's shatter our record and get to beyond the 6th round proper here, so that we can follow this along and keep banking money. An appeal for handball, a decision of some sort, anyway. Andrew, thanks for the comment on my Facebook. Rude. I put that out there for just normal stuff because fortunately I was able to catch my appendix before it tore. And I've been told, not by other men, but by women, that when they've had their ruptured appendix, that it was more painful than childbirth. And that was not something I wanted to experience. At the end of the day, when it comes to the transfers, I'm not looking for mercenaries that are in their 30s. Will I take them? Yes. Add more quality to the lineup? Great. But my preference, I would like to find 24 to 27-year-olds who have the opportunity at playing upper levels, because I would like to think that we're going up. And I'd like to think that League One is going to be way more difficult, and we're going to have a couple of seasons there to build with. But there's an opportunity for us to move up to the championship. Davis with the tackle. That was vicious and precise. That's an art. Davis is going to have to go teach Will Boyle how to tackle. Being his age in League One is not the worst, though, Andrew. A year or two anyway. Get settled in, prove your capacity. Hughes right foot off, missed it, and then hammered again and missed. Rosie with, usually she's clinical, surgical, and there she had two misses back to back. Pushed one to the right, came back and pushed it again. I got it, Andrew. That's not Rosie. Rosie normally buries those opportunities, but she pushes one to the right Gets it back and pumps one to the left. When your expectations, how do you know a player's like a level above is when we as fans sit there and watch and we just see so much spectacular that when something goes wrong, we're like, how the hell did that happen? Well, we'll find out during the documentary, I'm sure. It sounded like every, and a little bit of a mistouch there by Rosie, just off today. And a giveaway, and here comes Aberystwyth on the run on the counter. Oh, nice little dink from right to left, pushing forward, goes right to left again. That draw's been there. Note to self, she has one move, that right to left draw from her right foot to her left foot while running at pace and just sneaking around defenders. She did it twice going forward. But I think it's been suggested that all three clubs had a bit of a fault from that. Emily, I say 2 or 3, and I say 2 or 3 only because we're still going to be able to bully with our turnover. And with that, you've got opportunity to spend, so you'd think that you're going to be in the mix more often than you're not. Steven with the full optimism. Rocket ship right up to the top. Hey, I'd love it. Oh, actually, I wouldn't love it. The thing about that, and yeah, this goes back to that academy video, is you've got to get that academy running. It's required in the Premier League. You're given a bit of a letdown, but that's going to require some equity investment and probably R&R having to bring in some other shareholders. Somebody find me where 22 acres are in Wrexham that is close to some amenities that they're going to be able to buy and put up their little stadium hub. But what a nice little asset for the community as well. They're going to have 10 pitches that are going to be able to use for youth development and that sort of thing. Similar to what we've got in Port Coquitlam here. They're building FIFA graded grounds and an office there for BC Soccer. That was a really long ball, perfect ball. Oh, Isaac there. Isaac, that's the name that keeps coming from Rosie's back with it, looking right side, not quite pushed out far enough, held it up, but Lily's there. Oh, Scorpion, or not Scorpion, sorry, overhead kick, bicycle kick. Watford still up 1-0. Liverpool, Norwich still 0-0. Hadn't got to be getting closer to the break there. I get it, Andrew. The thing of being 23 as a goalkeeper is you can't move too fast either. You want to get settled in. So I guess it really depends on what clubs are interested in him and whether he thinks he's going to be able to get real minutes, right? Because there's also something to be said about sitting on the bench and just coming up for cup competitions as a 23-year-old. You want to be able to play. And so that's another consideration that's interesting to me, as well as, do you take that opportunity in a lower division where you can play every day? Or do you just take your money and run? Yeah, I'm full on, Stephen. That's exactly my thoughts, my goal. Looks like a glorious day, but they say it's windy. That free kick goes all the way into the box penalty area, and it bounced off. Is going to go for a goal kick. Oh, I wish I was Mark and could get that excited. He was really into that one. Just kicked off. Well, all right. Well, and the thing too, Stephen, is in 2 years' time at minimum, probably more than that. But do you think that Mullen and Lee will be ready at that level by then? No, I think that there's going to be massive overhaul on the team. And when that happens, That's big money, right? Thrown in, headed back. Thrown in, headed back. Towards the rock quarry. Yeah, Stephen, that's exactly what I was thinking. You were typing and read my mind before I even made the comments. Nice touch. Lightfoot. Flicked the boot out there, knocked it down, put it at her feet, turned, and the Cardiff women are up 1-0 on Pontypridd. Their center backs have been doing really well, but did she hurt herself on that stretch for that ball to knock it down? Are you talking, when you say parachute payments, are you talking about the actual Premier League parachute payments coming down and the challenge of overcoming that, or are you talking increased distribution funds? Yeah, I'm happy with a slow build. Put us into League One. Let's sit there for a couple of years, have some fun. Mid-table, maybe a playoff run, some FA Cup glory. Just keep building the team, and create the academy. Have that thing churn over, and we can sit here when I'm, 20 years from now, on whatever platform the universe creates and the internet creates, chatting Wrexham football as we climb up, and we're sitting in the Premier League in 20 years, and comfortably so. Well done. Rosie's going to get there. Isaac, man, Isaac has been everywhere. Jesus. Sign her up. We want her in our back line. There has to be a change in the sports governance model. I mean, you've got the whole Tory football, fan-led football review, which if you haven't looked it up, set that aside and Google it. Fan-led football review. It was a government-led initiative where they've talked with fans and with a whole bunch of stakeholders in football, and came up with a bunch of recommendations. And they paint the picture of the bad parts of football and how to improve it. But when you think about it, this is another conversation I had with that Knots fan, who, we have a lot of sports governance stuff. He just doesn't see the universe the same. He doesn't. I suggest two things. He doesn't get that North American fans are used to supporting clubs that they may never see. Like I grew up a Minnesota Vikings fan because we got Minnesota TV in Saskatchewan. I've never been to a Vikings game, not once. But I've watched almost religiously my entire life. Got kit, had kit, been a fan. I'm less so this year because I've gone full Wrexham, but we're used to doing that. The Toronto Blue Jays, if you're a Canadian, I mean, the Toronto Blue Jays are a 5-hour plane ride away. I've been to 6 Blue Jays games in my entire life, and none of them have been in Toronto. I've been to 1 Raptors game, and that's just what we do, and I don't think he gets that. But we were talking about the challenges of football, and I think that there has to be some collective bargaining done with the labor to bring the costs under control, but you're never going to get that in one league because if the Premier League does that, or the AFL, nice interplay between the women down the left-hand side, Hughes up all the way through the midfield and a little bit too far from Rosie. Again, that angle just off. Weight was perfect, just angle off. But if you have England enter into collective bargaining and they bring the players' wages into control, and UEFA, FIFA don't have concurrent regulations for the other leagues, then everybody's just going to go to Germany or France or Spain or Italy or somewhere else, rather than play at home for the money. And so it'll be interesting to see if there is some form. Yeah, and that's fine. We're not going to go anywhere. I'm not. I'm just sitting here all cozy, comfy, and dealing with a sore tummy from the corner. I should have turned the fan off. I don't know if it's humming, if it's annoying in the background. Normally turn that off. No, the first touch, Lightfoot had been off for a while, and it was to the point where I was, Hughesy couldn't get to it. Hughesy? Rosie Hughes. Hughesy. Lightfoot at the start of the year had all the sort of similar amazing touches that she was having, and then sort of things slipped. They bumped her back from her role, moving Carr up forward, Suckley at times up forward, and bringing her further back down on the left side. And her touch is back. Like, she's had it today for sure. Andrew, I want to be there for that. Cardiff tied. Odd indeed. Bring them back and make that the second part of the season a little bit more fun. But are you with me on Lightfoot being fully on today? Like, she's got magic in those boots right now. Well, that's Andrew. That's direct too. That's not ticket sales, I don't think, is it? Can't be. I would expect more than £4 million for playing just group play. 6 games. I guess £4 million off of 6 games ain't bad either. Into the right, tried to flick it into the penalty area, didn't get there, and it's going to just fall down. Just rumors. That's all I've heard is rumors. I don't expect everybody to know where the players are going, but the one thing I like about North American sports is they at least identify, the journalists do, who's up for potential transfers, right? Who's a striker who's not playing in an optimal role, who's a center back who's maybe hasn't fit in, and who might be looking to transfer out because they've done things. And yeah, there's always shockers, but you get that list of like 10 to 20 players that you can do the research on and keep an eye out for. Nice little turn by Rosie, looking, flicks it over back to the right, and he's going to get punched out. The back line for Abertystwyth has been exceptionally solid when called upon in the box. Yeah, Stephen, that's the prize, right? And they've confirmed that if a Welsh club secures a spot, they get that English spot. Oh man, and I hear you. That would have been heartbreak. Lily service, out-footed header, went to the right. It was there. Halftime whistle, no extra time. All right, straight in. That was the quickest first half of all time. I thought that this was going to be a long, painful, laborious exercise. Gwilt. That's a great last name. So I don't know what's going on out and about. Do I bring up the Liverpool match? Up 1-0. Watford up 1-0. Anybody got a ticket update on Blackburn? That's the other big shock, and we should talk about that as an interesting little development. I mean, we sold our 7,000 out. I got an extra 400. I think it's 7,400 now. And we did that within hours and sold out. And before I went in to get the appendix out, they were sitting at 6,200 tickets sold. Why? And there's been two reasons I've been given. One is that they don't give a crap about the cup, which it's the FA Cup, and it's the fourth round. You have a chance to get into the fifth round and be one of. There's only 32 teams left, and you can get a chance to be one of 16. Like that's big news. That's a big deal. So I can't get that. Some suggesting that it's protest. So I guess there's three reasons. Not happy with where the club is at and wanting to send a message. Okay, maybe, but I think that'd be more generalized decrease in attendance. And the last issue being that they're scared. If it's sort of ostrich in the sand, they're concerned that they might end up not winning the thing, and they don't want to be embarrassed and be witness to the embarrassment. Now, I don't know if there's any merit to that. I don't think anybody's ever going to admit it, but it is fascinating all the same. Don't want to be in the documentary? Yeah, I guess that's a reason too, right? So we're still 25 minutes, so it'll probably happen at some point during the second half where the draw will kick in. I'll bring the balls up just so that we can look at them here in a second. But I think on a Monday night, for 7,000 people, not all of them would have had to have done it, but a significant portion would have had to have moved their work schedule around to be able to make it work is absolutely mind-boggling to me. Credit to how massive Wrexham is and is becoming. But it's going to be an interesting offseason. You've got the free-to-air thing potentially happening, and that whole idea. You're going to have, even just seeing the financials, if they're released in June again, will be great to see. There's the balls to look at while we're at it. And so we'll be here tomorrow, taking the day off. Oh, not entirely. I'm going to have to make a couple of phone calls. Yeah, I stopped watching the Aussie Open as soon as the Canadians ended up falling out of favor, and Ojai Aliassim just cannot beat Daniil Medvedev. I think Maidstone making the documentary would be fun. Okay, Steven, that's a bold call. That is a bold, bold call. I'm going to call a 1-1 draw. I can get that as a day out, 5,000. That's when you're Maidstone, and it's just you sort of sniff around the team and show some support, but all of a sudden, like your local club's taking a run at it. I mean, if I heard correctly, this is the first time. Do you want my heart or do you want my head? I think our away form, going to a championship squad away. I'm thinking it's a draw, and we haven't had one. I want to be wrong. And I was talking about something, and I don't even remember what it was. Ooh, Swirly going with getting smashed. I think we got too much magic to end up getting us there. Wrexham in the FA Cup just seems to be a drug, and the guys are there for it. So I expect something close. 3-3. And then still lots of games we've got now. What, Crawley, FGR, and MK Dons as makeup games to pack into Tuesdays so far. The table for League Two, 5 points back, 1 game in hand over Stockport. Going to have some work to do, but it's so nice to have points and games in hand over fourth. If we can secure those, God, it would be so glorious. I just don't know, Kim, if we've got the magic in our boots away. It'll be an interesting thing to see because Norwich draw even. That's fascinating stuff. And I'm just going to go back and they say they're 19 minutes away now from the draws. They've rescheduled. I want to know how they did that because I've tried to reschedule and I had to re-kick. Maybe that's just because I use Restream for a lot of my stuff. I just don't know if we've got the boots in it, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with the away form because now it's become a talking point, right? Our away form. Worst goals for in the league away from a home stadium. Like that's shocking. I think looking at that ball, looking at those balls, the one that I would like is number 12. I'll call it. Number 12 because Plymouth Argyle, arguably a winnable game. And if not, you pull Leeds first, get that one off and have that game against Leeds. I think that's going to be the ball I'm going to look for. But I mean, I look at that whole list and all of them would be awesome. Every single one of those. Beat Blackburn, pull into the 5th round. How much fun would it be? Keep this going. Joseph Martinez, that's a name I haven't looked up. I'll have to do that when we get offline. Yeah, Kim, it's just shocking. And so what happens when you're a player? Do you end up fighting that gear? Do you end up going in with extra focus, or does it end up becoming that monster that continues to grow? That despite your best efforts and trying to get control of things away, you end up just going, look, I don't care as long as we maintain what we do at home. Well, it's fair enough, Swirly. But looking at those 16 balls there, which of those is winnable? I mean, Watford, Southampton, Bournemouth, Wolverhampton, Bristol or Notts, Leicester City, Sheffield Wednesday, Coventry, ball number 7. Coventry would be having flashbacks and PTSD if we end up drawing them. And they end up taking care of Sheffield Wednesday, of course. Chelsea, Aston Villa, Maidstone United, prior to their game against Ipswich, and I guess, did I see the stats right? I only saw the highlights, but did I see that they only had 2 shots on target and both went in? So there's magic going on with them right now, and that's always scary. But maybe that's the ball we want. I don't know. I'll give him a little bit more credit than Mr. Goldbridge did. Swirly's hoping to go out with a bang. So Liverpool away. Ball number 10 away. Number 11 away. Is that what you're looking at? Number 9 away? Oh, no, not 9. Maidstone. Man, you still in there, or did they lose? Newport. They got Newport. In Newport, as the girls are running out for the start of the second half. We're 15 minutes away, so we're looking at sometime just before the 60th minute. We'll get into it. It'll be a 15-minute distraction, 5 minutes of puff and pageantry before they get into the hat. Just give me 24 to 27. That's all I'm looking for. 24 to 27-year-olds. If we get stuck and it's just for the sake of securing our promotion and we're going to bring in a mercenary for a year, fine. Better than a kick in the pants. But not really what I'm after. But I know that good, cheap, affordable, desirable players that want to play in Wrexham might be a little bit tough to get. I don't believe the Langstaff rumors at all. Although I don't get that. I don't understand the antipathy on Twitter for poachers. Like, Langstaff scores because he picks up balls in the box, and he does well. Jonathan David does that in the French league and for the Canadian national team. That's how he scores his goals. He's not a playmaker. He's not a striker in the true sense. He doesn't hammer the ball from outside the box. He's a garbage man. He cleans up any mess in the box, and the ball just seems to find him. Just has a knack for being in the right spot. And I get not a goal scorer, but he's a goal scorer. But I don't see Langstaff coming over to Wrexham. Talk about entirely tarnishing your history. If you were a Notts County fan and your leading scorer ended up going to Wrexham, Notts County's owner would lose his damn mind. Waiting on the referee, apparently. All the girls are out there all standing around the pitch. Rosie's having a dance to the music. Little white stripes in the background. Rosie's feeling it. What a world we live in. Listen to the white stripes, watching a Welsh women's football club having a crack, waiting for a draw, and listening to the white stripes in the background. Thanks for that, Stephen. Point taken. I think the tribalism of football in the UK, though, he's pulling the Roberto Luongo, which, if you don't know, overtime in a playoff game, and he had to have a bowel movement and actually skated off the ice and had to bring in a backup goaltender to lock it down while he went and dealt with his business and then came back and took over. Doncaster. Do we need to talk about Doncaster? 3 losses in a row, down to 22nd in the table. They're still 7 points up. Yep, 7 points up over Sutton. Sutton undefeated, 4 draws in a row. Slowly eking their way up. And I know that they're tied at 28 and they've got a game in hand. Excuse me. He's back with a smile on his face after he got the Bronx cheer for coming out of the bog. Pump my tires, Luongo. Gotta love the guy. "11 minutes away from the draw." And I haven't looked up anything on the teams. I'm just going off of memory. Oh, and if you're joining after the half, one more time, I think it's just all the regulars today, which is awesome. The community on full display as we start the second half. But a little bit subdued on this one as I'm dealing with issues after a hospital stay.
I just have bed on the floor.
And now you can hear the young one who's woken up and
I have a bed on the floor.
you have a bed on the floor. It's awesome,
So
man.
I can leave it with this. I can come in every night. Love you.
Nine minutes away. If you do hear, I'm hoping that the volume's up on my YouTube and it's not muted and I miss the draw last time as it happened. So if you do see that it gets fired up, feel free to let me know to bounce over. I've got to bring full screen here. The women's match onto the computer. Yes, John. Tell me a ball that's there that's not tasty for some reason or another. I mean, the championship squads that we've gotten our full run of them. Coventry, Sheffield was championship last year, but at the top of the table. We're going to have Blackburn here. If we're able to get past them, that would be like 4 opportunities to pull a Prem team and we get championship. But yeah, thanks, Brendan. I've got that and it's ticking along. So, Dell's massive save there. Oh, and then a failed clearance, bounced back, and it's going to get Dell doing Dell things. Lily, flick over top. Rosie running on that. She's in behind the back line. Both teams coming out with some jump here to start off. Cross, delivered, and collected. Keeper taken. Done. Aberystwyth with it. Long looping cross. That was a glorious cross. When you can see that ball moving. I mean, yes, the replay was in slow motion, but the sailing in. Well done. Hughes on the inside. Pritchard's not going to be able to keep up with her. Hughes has pace. The Aberystwyth striker has pace, but she's had some bad first touches, but she had a good one there. Yeah, thanks, Dave. We're going to be ticking along with that one for sure. Which is really, I think that's why the free to air ball in the box in the area is flicked over. Trouble, need a clear, able to get it, and Aberystwyth goes back to collect. That's why I think that free to air thing is a brilliant idea. Is trying to gateway in fans who are somewhat interested but haven't invested, and pulling in as much of that mob as possible by just giving them open access and just saying, hey, welcome to the club. Here it goes. You've got the production capacity. I want to see the spelling of that girl's name. Morally Hughes. Is that what I'm hearing Mark saying? Aberystwyth Town FC women. Morley Hughes with it again. Left side, flag up, offside. Aberystwyth's come out hungry. Oh, it's her last name is Morley. Lily Morley Hughes. Because the man's retired and has no interest in playing. Lily. Doing Lily things again. Lily's looked good. Lightfoot's looked good. Yeah, that's that Morley Hughes girl. I thought that Morley was her first name and she was getting the full. Yeah, thanks, Sean. I just don't have the mobility to be able to put it in. Oh, and or even just load it up, I guess, to take it here. I could have. The brain's not functioning. Sorry, just trying to figure out what's going on in the house here. Oh. You think so, weather guy? I think that there's so many more narratives that are out there, and so many that can start to bring in the odd international fan, because there's been, people like Cryptic and Michael Starkey and the Australians, and so many people that have been following the league following the team from wherever, that have been over to Wrexham. John down in Phoenix, who are now deeply passionate about the club. You've got, there's thousands of people to choose from. That's lots of stories to tell. Kara forced her way through that one, tried to bully her way through. Good morning, Thomas. Nice thing about sports is it's always a narrative that writes its own stories, right? It's always there's going to be rivalries created or forced. There's going to be stories of success and failure and heartache and rapture that and then years down the road, 16 years down, if we're talking Always Sunny in Philadelphia type stuff, there's always opportunities to go back and have a return trip, whatever happened to whoever that person is who's header, and beautiful set piece went in far post, ends up getting bonked into the air again. Kara Jones is right there all alone. Put it up on the box, put it up on the scoreboard. Things are good. Whew. That was beautiful. Great service, great delivery. And then just delivered over to Kara, who's sitting there all wide open. So that's Lily with the service, right-footed. Swept in, far post. Davis and or Sharp, not sure exactly who got their head on the ball. I think what also shocked me was Sean Harvey saying that, they don't keep the stats for it, but he's fully believes that we've got more iFollow subscriptions than anybody else in the championship or anybody else in the EFL. That's Leicester, that's Leeds. Those are teams that have long historical fan followings. And as soon as you buy a package, like it ain't cheap, especially with today's economy. And people are taking their love for Wrexham and putting pounds and dollars to it. Well, it'll be interesting to see too, Stephen. Rumors are about kit manufacturer changing. I don't know if that's partly due because my frustration with Macron, I love their kits, to be fair. As a general rule, compared to most manufacturers, I think they make one of the best kits, bespoke and never carbon copy and unique. But they just don't seem to manufacture enough, and they never fire up the machine for a second run. And that doesn't make any sense to me. If you've got demand out there, put jersey out there, make some money. But they do it all in that pre-order system, which makes absolutely zero sense to me. It also doesn't make any sense to me that they don't have numbers on the back and you can't pay for extra unless you do it on your own. You got to go out and buy a number kit? That seems bonkers to me. Why would I want to risk my ability or find somebody and their ability to put it out? Yeah, Wrexham don't like money. It's one of those things where you'd think, find some guy who does it professionally. Look, my Canucks jersey that I bought, they shipped it off to somebody who that's what he does as a career. Nice spin by Rosie. She's got it. Counterattack in the penalty area, far post. Lily draws it back, tries to flick it over, but it's going to get nicked away. But have it set up, put the money into the club. The club takes their cut off of the numbers, and somebody ends up getting paid and has a full-time job putting numbers on jerseys. Done. I'd do that. Not put the numbers on. God, I don't have the skill set for that. Everybody's name would be misspelled. Sorry for that. Yeah, Stephen, I get it. That was me last year, and if it wasn't for being chomping at the bit at the start of the year, tried to get a red, didn't. Was fortunate enough to have gone through the experience of getting the next two jerseys. Till you structure, they've got the selling space. They've got the ability to put it online. They can figure that out. To me, this is manufacturer issue. At the half now of the Liverpool match, because they were late getting started because of something that happened in the West Brom Wolverton game in the stands. And Thomas, Cara Jones on the right side. The keeper comes out. Yeah, going to scoop that over the edge of the penalty area. Well done coming out and putting that risk to bed. Don't have to worry about the out-of-town scoreboard tomorrow. I don't think there's any other matches going on tomorrow when we go on, so that'll be advantageous for me for setup. I just nice and easy getting that set up. Distracted. I got a little one sleeping in my spot. All right. I'll pull it up here. They say 6.5 minutes away, but with a couple of minutes, we'll see where we're at. Don't know if we can entirely trust the counter on the YouTube channel. So if you do have it up, and I don't know whether the volume's running for it or not. No, it wasn't Rosie that scored. It was Kara Jones on a header. Sharp and or Davis took a set play at the far post and headed it over more from the far post towards Kara, who was all alone in front and was able to bury it. Rosie's been a little bit. Oh, did Rosie have the touch? I thought it was Sharp or Davis. It was a glorious delivery from well out by Lily Jones, right-footed to get it into the area on the far post, and then headed over to Kara, who didn't miss. Listen to Mark getting spooked by kids playing hide and seek in the stadium. Sounds exactly like what it was like when we were kids and doing hockey in the tunnels under the arena. Mark said Rosie. Interesting. Gonna have to get a replay on that one later. I thought that Rosie's been a little bit off today with her passing. I thought that Lightfoot's looked exceptionally good. Lily's looked like she's been back into it, bossing the midfield as she normally does. The back line hasn't really been tested. That Morley Hughes has been the only threat, really, and Wrexham comes forward. Pritchard, and the draw just started playing music in the background. Turn that down a little bit before I blast my... draws on, or at least thank you for that, John. I've got it up with the static, or with the screen sitting there waiting. I'll bring those balls up while we're at it. And now we got a beat to the... It's like the Mark Griffiths remix with both of them going through my headset. Aberystwyth. Can't say that TH. It's like me saying Norwich and making everybody lose their mind last time. Aberystwyth. Do they like their tuna over there? Taco Tuesdays in North America, Tuna Tuesdays in the UK. I kind of want to have this Mark Griffith replay on with the beat in the background. Don't want to do that again. Oh. Pritchard, long ball down the right. Thank you. Sorry, I tried to get to the mute button. Wasn't going to happen. And the music is playing. The promo is on. Crossed in. It's there. Headed down, clearing it away. Falls down. Scramble at the front of the area. And we're going to get a free kick going to Aberystwyth. It is starting. If you're not on... I did put the YouTube channel down below if you wanted to watch the draw concurrently with the women's match. Easiest thing to do is just go to YouTube and search for the FA Cup, all one word, the FA Cup, and it'll bring it to you. Hit live, go to the 5th round draw, and it's there. Oh, and they had to lose somebody for the draw, and they're just jumping right straight into it. Balls are into the hat.
first time in 45 years that a team from the 6th tier has made it into the 5th round. That's fascinating. Right off the hop, we could be at home. Who do we potentially get at home? First ball out of the box. No drama. Newcastle at home. Done. All right. Put it to bed. Oh, kind of wanted to have that away and flip the switch to secure the money, but not going to get too excited about it because we got Blackburn tomorrow. So let's worry about it. See who Maidstone ends up drawing. Always gonna be awesome for the locals. Like that's a totally different perspective, right? I've got my international lens on it. I'm looking dollars, money, cents, that sort of stuff, or pounds and pence, as it were. Thanks, Michael. Hug a pillow, and I was told just to hold my inside in, which I was trying to sneeze and hold, and I didn't know what I actually ended up doing. Not pleasant in any event. Still looking for that Maidstone ball to see where they end up. Well, I hope Maidstone don't get Sheffield or Coventry. Give them a good club. Okay, don't choose 9 now. Nah. I was hoping Maidstone was going to pull a Prem team. Bring the women's game back up in full. I'm hoping that this is really largely gone. The pain today is a lot more manageable than it was yesterday. Yesterday, the drugs had worn off. But now that they do the laparoscopic surgery through the belly button and 2 other incisions, it's a lot lighter as far as getting an invasive. I'm just glad to have the bloody thing out because it sucked having it. But got it before the tear and the rupture. If you're ever concerned and you end up getting like unexplained, to the men, it almost felt like a groin kick. Yeah, they've got those high shorts and then they've got the green and black. You're exactly right. Beach bum, it does look like they've got suspenders on. And their shorts seem really high. But I guess it's the black on the bottom. It looks like the jersey's got black on the bottom of it, full band. And so it almost looks like dress shorts. Like how we got no excitement about Newcastle because everybody's too focused on tomorrow. The work to do. That'll be fun. The fun of the FA Cup. I'm hoping I'm a little bit better, just so I'm a little bit more spry. Kara went, nicked it, got it, and Suckley's up there running for it. I didn't see when Suckley came in, and if she came in for Rosie or who she came in for, but I've been impressed by Suckley the last couple of games. Swansea cleaning out TNS, and Cardiff women still tied with bottom of the table Pontypridd. In Cardiff as well, even more fascinating potentially. Who got next? Taking us into the 6th round already, are you, Stephen? I love that. You got us in the Prem in consecutive years. You got us going to the 6th round. Heck, let's make the quarters. Let's make a run at it. Could Wrexham fill Wembley? Garters. I didn't see garters. I saw suspenders coming up over top. It looks like suspenders with dress shorts to me. Yeah, it's the black building at the bottom of the shorts. It makes it look like dress shorts from a distance, like they're higher waisted. You know what I mean? Higher, like. Mark saying that he'd rather have TNS make the Final Four than Aberystwyth. But I don't think it matters, to be fair. I mean, the goal for us at the start of the year, or at least for me, not getting relegated. Steven's the man with a plan. Thomas has a draw 2-2, and then a Wrexham win, and then a Newcastle beatdown. Ooh, dangerous. Morgan there knocked it there. That's too close and too scrambly and too dangerous for me to want to deal with. Oof. Dell got up there, had her hands on it, and just rolled out a play, and lots of green jerseys sitting around. Financial takeover coming. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if R&R at some point in time start to add some investors if they sell some of the equity at some point in time, just to bring in extra infusion. And Kara with a bad clear gave it away. Whistle's blowing. I got a yellow card out. Sorry, lights automatically rotating. The joy of having kids, I think they've pressed something on the button, so I end up getting color and rainbow lights and a whole bunch of effects that scroll through every once in a while. Thomas, get one for me while you're at it. Put a little bit of Caroline's in it. Bailey's, whatever you got. I'm not picky. Kim with the prediction. I actually didn't put nuts in my top 3. But I won't talk about my top 3. Because I clearly missed the boat. Did anybody see Barrow even sniffing into the playoffs there? Yeah, Steven, and it's a model that people are doing. Didn't they do that on Ted Lasso? Ooh. Ball to the face, and she's taking a knee. Got to go down for a head check. Physio coming out to see. Oof, 2 yards away, smashed off her face. It's one of those where I wouldn't eat those.
What are those?
No, they're pumpkin seeds. How hard can it be? Steven's playing Football Manager. Chaos from South Sea. Southie? I don't know, Raymond. But I know the Saskatchewan Roughriders too. Oh. Saskatchewan Roughriders in the Canadian Football League are also fan-owned. I know lots of people who have shares in almost every house that you go to has got a share on the wall hanging there on display. But I think that a big reason why they got into F1, to be completely fair, was to introduce them into the sport ownership community and those that are comfortable throwing money into sports plans or sports clubs. And I think they're going to use those Alpine connections. Yeah, and I missed that whole thing. I thought that they were still dealing with the ball to the face. I got distracted there with the important discussion on Thomas, the train. Ball all the way through into the penalty area, rolling, dangerous, to ground, comes free at their foot. Ooh. Now, did that deflect out for a corner? It looks like it did. So I do apologize for the distraction. But sometimes there's important conversations that just can't be missed in the house. Man, this is proving to be a little bit more taxing than I thought, just sitting in this chair. Right-footed out swinger from the right side for Aberystwyth, getting late here. Cleared away. That was a good clearance. Needed that one. Kara gets out there with pressure. Aberystwyth turning, looking, getting back in. They're in the hunt. They're sniffing. Well done. Pushed forward. No, not. Looked to break out. Bad little pass. Had to run back to it, and all Kara could do was just kind of play it back over into the quiet area. It was grabbed by Allen and sent forward. And Aberystwyth is going to get it there. Throw in Aberystwyth. They've been possessions up. They've been sniffing around. I wouldn't say we've looked to park the bus. And she's saying, why am I getting the foul call? Man, those shorts, the jersey. Allen with the charge and then being held. Held and sumo splashed. Cardiff does their thing. Grabs the lead. Well, we're going to have some added time in this one for sure. That is interesting, Stephen. I'm going to have to wiki that one when I crawl back into the bed here. UCD. So at some point today, I am going to send the tweet out to say that we're here for the watch party, and it's a little late getting my graphic out and all that sort of stuff. So any boosts that you guys can send out for the social media presence would be welcome if you get that opportunity later on in the day. Going to get a free kick here. Allen's still a little bit tender. No, we're there. There's two cups. Now I can't remember. I can get the answer to that question. There's the Genero Adran Trophy, at which we're out of, and the Welsh FA Cup, which we're in. And it's one of the things Google doesn't pick up those details very well. So yeah, the FAW Women's Cup, and our next game for that one, I don't see it being scheduled on the fixtures. It's like I even went to look up like statistics for the women's matches from previous games. Just take the game sheets and put them out there. Even if you don't process them, just put the raw data out there. The Genero Adran Premier League, as much as it's doing great things for women's football, needs to do a better job of its data collation. Find a student who's interested in that sort of thing and give them the opportunity to collate it and put it together. Do something. There is a wiki page. So we've got the New Saints. March 3rd will be the semifinals. Is that what you just sent me, Jed? The Butte Energy Welsh Cup. Yeah, and I did get that, Jed. Thanks for that. I'll have a read. That's standard stuff, and I don't think, because we were at 22 before, just talking roster decisions that are going to have to be made. We've moved a bunch of players away on loan. We've still got some players that will they come in from the reserve? I think the one question is for me is Bryce Hosanna hasn't gone anywhere. Some people are suggesting because of injuries and all that sort of stuff, depending on his health. Does his pace come back into the lineup from the reserves back into the 22? I know depending on who comes in, who goes out, basically was she offside off of that touch around the corner? Suckley still with it. Flag not up. Crossover. Oh, dangerously cross the face of goal, but not punched in by anybody. Nobody there. So sorry, Denise. Yeah, no, not a stupid question at all. The whole cup competition thing is fascinating. I haven't heard from Liam. I actually sent him a message to see if he wanted to do the watch party thing. Not the watch party thing, but the help host sort of an after match reaction. And I don't know if I'll start that tomorrow. I just don't think it'd be rocket science to do it. And if it gets ugly, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of one of those things, just tear the Band-Aid off. But I think it'd be amazing to have like a 1 hour after the match, and whoever wants to can come in. The game's not over, Stephen. Go to the Wrexham main page, and don't go to matches. Click on women, and then click from there their matches for Match Center, and it'll be there. There's only 5 minutes left plus added time. We'll probably get 4 or 5 minutes of added time, so there's probably all told 10 minutes left in the game. But I didn't hear from Liam. I saw that he's read it, but I've been left on red, so I don't know if he's busy, occupied, lost some interest. I'd be fascinated if they come after me, because if they come after me, I'm going to be making a video about it. I try to stay on top of enough to make my copyright stuff transformative. The only things that are at issue are the logos that I can see, but dangerous. Massive save by Dell, coming out there and had nobody around, had to just come out in full charge. Aberystwyth sniffing around, cross into the box, cleared away. I have written a lot of cease and desist letters in my career, and I would love to get one personally. I've never got one yet. You think the kid's still in high school, deflected that one back off of her own nose. That's an impressive play. He's an excellent public speaker. Like, should, even just with the subs, parlay that into a career. He's got himself the ability to do it. I'm a big fan of Liam. It's a big reason why I'm a Wrexham fan, to be completely fair. Now probably in a dark room. Cease and desist rooting against the lines. You can never support a divisional rival, ever. Nice ball through. Is it there for Suckley to run onto Aberystwyth goalies out there and clears it? Referee needs to go somewhere. That's why he blew it down early. It's possible, Swirly. It just seems weird. He put together. Dell gave it away. Aberystwyth, there, 2 people. Dell comes back and saves it. Nervy times. Squeaky bum time indeed. And Dell collects it and lays down. The logo conspiracy? Are we talking about it being scripted? And the thing is I thought that his 21 videos right after was a nice little demonstration to everybody that, like, I'm here, I'm into this, I'm doing it, and I'm going to find a way for me to get involved. I thought good on him. And then cricket since, so I'm hoping for the bounce back, but we'll see. It's like bootlegger. He has opportunity. Sean Winters' opportunity. Up the Town had some great work that they were doing. Opportunity. But you have to give credit to like Rob and Ryan, the Rob Ryan Red guys, Nathan Salt, Tim and the gang, Matt Jones at Racecourse, Ramble, all like they've been at it for extended periods of time, doing their thing. The NFL is scripted. Is that what we're saying? Another chance in 4 minutes of added time. And so we're 30 seconds in, counting it out, and Aberystwyth is asking the questions. So far, we've had the answers, but it hasn't looked pretty, this one, but hopefully able to do enough. Aberystwyth right side. I'm going to look for a switch. I think the intention would be to come forward. I wouldn't call it a feisty game or a fiery game, but it's been a determined game. Oh, knocked it down by Lovett, got stuck on her foot and had a striker right there to be able to try and take it away. To be fair, Matt's really started to move up. And I don't know, John, if you eat more chips, but I know they do like feature film length podcasts, which are sometimes a little long. So we've got an injury to deal with. She looks to be in a fair amount of discomfort. Ooh. A left to the jaw. It's the name of a Welsh town. But there's also like that Eat More Chips. They've also got some comedy gold in there. They're a bunch of guys that let's be fair, I'd go have beer with any of them, but you'd have to bring your wit to sit with those gents. And he's off. Yeah, they're good. They're broken down into segments, which makes it nice and a little bit easier. So that'll be a little bit of added time to the extra time. And Del Morgan has it. Thumped down the pitch. Suckley over to Evans. Evans, and going to be a free kick the other way. And Aberystwyth looking to move the ball quickly. I thought there'd be more people there this morning. Not much else going on. Istwyth. Pinball. See, that's the stuff that makes me nervous. That long ball comes in and goes off of 3 defenders. Dell's going to take a little bit of time after getting a rub. 2 players banging into her gently. Nothing too serious. And away she goes, thumping the ball down the pitch. Well, I'm hoping that I can get over this for tomorrow because this has been a little bit more exhausting than I anticipated. Absolutely every day. 3 points is 3 points. You put them in the bank. You go on. you march forward. I didn't even look up the next match. Missed the Wednesday one that they had to make up against TNS. And an injury down, Aberystwyth player Lane. Can't be much time left for added time. It would have been close to blowing it down, but we got somebody who took a shot to the back of the head. So it'll be a little bit longer before we wrap up here. People starting to take off for their day. That makes sense to me. It is nap time for me. I will be taking that. I'm going to just look up tomorrow afternoon, evening for those in the UK. We are after it. Hopefully looking for a little bit more magic and a change in a waveform would be wonderful. Being able to say we're not that team would be amazing. So Pontypridd in the next match. So bottom of the table, Pontypridd in the next matchup. Aberystwyth still going to be trying to reel in the TNS. You never look TNS, if it'll scroll up here. I believe that they lost today. Watford Southampton ended up 1-1. I've got to get checked out for my own safety. There's the whistle. 3 points in the bank. So now that'll be an interesting question too for Stephen Dale. You've made the final part of the season. Points carry over, but you've got Pontypridd. You've got you're going to have a couple of extra games to play before you get into the narrower part of the competition where it's just Cardiff City, Swansea, us, and one of either Aberystwyth or TNS. It'll be interesting to see, does he end up extending the lineup a little bit and giving other people another chance? Okay. I thought you were saying I had to get checked out. I was like, I don't think I need to get checked out. I think I know what my problem is. I just need to get to it. And so I would love to sit here and chat with you guys. And I'm glad you were here. I've looked forward to this, and I'm glad I was able to pull this one off and sit here and do this because I enjoy everybody's company and enjoying the game with everybody and having a chat and connecting. So you guys are all awesome. I thoroughly enjoy having you here, every single one of you. So yeah, tomorrow, big game. Should be lots of fun. We're not going to talk about what could potentially happen if we win. We're going to focus on the Blackburn game at hand and hopefully take that thing down, not have to have a replay, and deal with it that way. Well done to the women. Not the most convincing of all games. They had control early on. Abertystwyth with it for the last 15 minutes, putting us under pressure. A couple of mistakes, a couple of nervy moments, but really a well-managed game by the ladies. And you take the 3 points. You go on. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Get to the stop streaming button. Take care. Okay. See you, everybody.